This is case number 2698FY, appearances counsel.
Hey, Carnes, on behalf of the people.
And I'm Jeff here, so I'm here on behalf of Chris Schwartz. She's next to me at the table.
And we are here for a probable cause conference. Is there any resolution to this matter?
Yes, Your Honor, it's my understanding that the defendant will plead guilty to an added count of attempted RNO as well as count 2 disorderly person. The people will dismiss the completed offense count 1 RNO as well as the habitual offender 4th enhancement.
That's my understanding as well, Your Honor.
Counsel also, so you're aware, I have an amended complaint in the file from January 12th. That's just correcting the spelling of Ms. Schwartz's first name. I don't see a need to rearrange her on that, but Ms. Schwartz, have you heard what the attorneys have said the resolution in this case is?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that how you wish to resolve it?
Yes, Your Honor.
So it's my understanding that you'll be pleading guilty to what is essentially an added count 3 of an attempt to resist and obstruct a police officer. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail and or a fine of $1,000. Additionally, you'll be pleading guilty to count number 2 of disorderly drunk. That is a 90-day misdemeanor and or a fine of $500. The people in exchange for those pleas will be dismissing the completed offense of police officer resist and obstruct, the 2-year felony, and the habitual 4th offender notice. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you please raise your right hand as best as you can? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you've given this matter will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you remember reading and signing an advice of rights form in this case that talked about your rights to a trial and your rights to an attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Most importantly, do you understand that you have a right to a jury trial and that by entering a guilty plea today, you'll be giving up that right and you won't have a trial of any kind?
Yes, sir.
Back on January 8th of this year, were you on probation or parole?
No, sir.
Were you on bond?
No, sir.
Other than the plea agreement, has anybody promised you anything in order to get you to plea?
No, sir.
Has anybody threatened you in any way?
No, sir.
And is it your own free choice to plead today?
Yes, sir.
Are counsel aware of any other promises, threats, inducements not made part of the record?
No, Your Honor.
Nor am I.
The Ms. Schwartz, to the allegations that on or about January 8th, 2026 in the city of Cadillac in Wexford County, how do you plead to count number 2 of disorderly drunk
Guilty.
and to added count 3 of an attempt to resist and obstruct a police officer? How do you plead?
Yes.
In order to accept those pleas, I must have you tell me what it is that makes you guilty. So what happened back on January 8th?
I was dealing with a lot going on lately. People issues. I've been asking, reaching out for help. It didn't go in my favor, so I went out and started drinking and being irresponsible. I take full account of my actions, and I'm truly, truly sorry. And I was in the wrong. I went down the road and don't remember half of it, but I remember being in the cop car and what happened. And
So what happened in the cop car?
I slipped my cuff and waved at the camera.
Slipped your cuffs and what? Waved at the camera?
Waved at the camera.
Okay.
And I was very drunk and irresponsible on it, and I'm sorry. I am seeking, reached out for rehab. I have been approved. That's why today I was wondering if I can be on a PR or something, so I can go straight to rehab.
We'll get to that in a minute. Right now, I have to have you finish telling me what happened. So how were you a disorderly drunk?
I drank a fifth, almost a fifth that time.
Okay, and what happened?
Walking down the road, I guess I went to the bar and I didn't have no money and I caused a scene. Very irresponsible there.
Well, this says at the Chris gas station. So did something happen at Chris?
I left the bar and I walked across the street and I made a scene in the parking lot.
How did you make a scene?
I got a mouth on me sometimes when I'm intoxicated. And yeah, I'm truly sorry.
What does and yeah mean? I need you to tell me what you did.
I think I was yelling at people in the, right where the pumps are.
You think or you know?
I know I was.
Okay. And then is there more to the resist and obstruct other than just slipping your cuffs?
No, sir.
Counsel believe defendants provided the fact, and that happened here in the city of Cadillac?
Yes, sir.
You counsel believe the defendants provided a factual basis in which to accept the pleas and the court rules have been complied with?
Yes, Your Honor.
I do as well.
As does the court, I find the plea is knowing, voluntary, and accurate. Ms. Schwartz, I find you guilty of an attempt to resist and obstruct and disorderly drunk pursuant to the plea agreement, the completed offense, and the habitual fourth offender notice will be dismissed. Mr. Carnes, are we able to sentence today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Harrison, any allocution?
Indeed, Your Honors, Crystal mentioned to you in her presentation to the court, she has sought rehabilitation, inpatient treatment. She has in fact been approved for that. I do have a letter to that effect in her file at 1016 Recovery Network. That is her eyes on the prize. That is her next objective, irregardless of what happens today. Not that the court sentence isn't important. I'm saying that's where she's going next, whether you put her back in jail or you release her today. I think even a brief look at her criminal history would indicate that this is a step she probably should have made 10, 12 years ago. And nevertheless, I'm proud of the fact that she sought this on her own, not through anyone forcing her to or in consideration of anything else. Many times a case like this goes by without there being any intervention as to the underlying behavior. So I'm glad that she has the insight to at least realize this is a major problem. This could have sent her back to prison because she decided to drink and act irresponsibly here. That's a big realization for her, and I'm glad she made it. Those are her words, not mine. She does have some jail credit, and I think she spent that time appropriately, considering how she can avoid putting herself right back in the same position that she's been in on numerous prior occasions. I think a period of supervision would be beneficial to her as well. In effect, it would be another reinforcement of whatever aftercare she receives through 1016. Obviously the court has ample discretion here. I just wanted you to know that our emphasis is definitely on getting her, or her emphasis is getting herself into treatment.
Thank you. Mr. Carnes?
Thank you, Your Honor. Looking back at the defendant's criminal history, it does appear this is an annual issue, roughly, with R&O in 2013, probation revoked, a completed R&O in 2015 with a PV, which ended in a prison sentence. A assault and battery in 2017. I note there disorderly person drunk. Attempted R&O in 2017. Completed R&O in 2018. Domestic violence in 2019. Another R&O also in 2019 with a disorderly person drunk dismissed. Disturbing peace in 2024. Disorderly person drunk in September of 2025, and now I have this behavior. And I completely think the defendant gave plea to the best that she remembered it. However, the Cadillac police officers report that in the Sally port, she jumped out of the car and had she slipped out her cuffs, and she had one handcuff in the other hand and was threatening the officer with his own set of handcuffs, essentially. So it does appear to be a bit more aggressive than what the defendant recalls. Also, the attendant at the Crisp gas station said she got close to her and said, "I want to tell you something," and then she yelled something vulgar in her face. So it's an ongoing issue, and the defendant is disturbing the peace of multiple people, both at the party lounge and the gas station. And then the arrest goes rather difficultly. I'd ask the court for 180 days jail. Thank you.
Mr. Carnes, when you say she was threatening the officer with his handcuffs, what do you mean by that?
I mean, she said, "Let's go, bitch," in the saddle court, according to the officer's report. Had the handcuff in one hand. And nobody was hurt. They were able to see her and book her without further incident.
Did she slip both wrists or just one?
Just one.
All right, so one was still around her.
I think so. That's my best guess based on.
Ms. Schwartz, you have the right to address the court prior to sentencing. Is there anything you'd like me to know?
Sorry for my actions, I'm reaching out for help. I have connected in the jail, on my own for rehab. I have been approved. I have reached out for CMA, which I am at, in jail. I have been seeing. I have been reaching out to Catholic Human Services for help. I am truly sorry for everything I ever done. And at least I'm trying so hard to fix what I broke. I've been going through a lot and it's my fault. But I have been intervening with Oasis and they've been turning me down. Even when I was sober, I counteracted and I went back to the alcohol. That was my bad. I understand. But right now I am trying so hard to fix that day. It's not like I was drinking every day. I'm not. And I'm truly sorry. Please work with me. I'm trying to get out. And I talked to 1016 today as well. I call them every day. And I told them I had court and I'm trying to see if I can get out today so I can be in the facility within this week. They have me coming, you know what I mean? Nobody asked me to do this. I'm doing it because I am scared. I can't fall back on what I did in the past. I can't, but I gotta take actions for what I'm doing now. And I have been reaching out for help. I have been paying on my fines. I've been looking for work. And me being in jail, I lost that job, but that's okay. I can find another one. But I'm asking, please work with me. I'm asking to let me out so I can go to rehab this week. I have to go to the doctor for my bipolar schizophrenic, and that don't help my case either, you know. But I'm not out doing, I'm not getting in any kind of other trouble I did that day, and I'm so sorry. And like I said, I could be in rehab. If I get out today, I could be in this week. And I am trying. I am really, really trying. I will even do probation. I will come and do breathalyzers like I did before. Anything. I am reaching out for help and guidance and strength to keep going. I know I messed up. And I'm not perfect, and I'm not going to ask you to sympathize with me, but I'm telling you, I'm sorry I got in everything, and I'm trying to keep reaching out. I asked consisting for resources once I'm out as well. You know what I mean? Like, counseling, all of it, just trying to save my marriage. I'm trying to do the right. That's all I can say, Your Honor. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening. I'm sorry.
So back when you were sentenced for disorderly drunk in September, what did you do after that?
September. I was in and out of trying to get into Oasis. And the counseling there and stuff like that. Me and the staff member at Oasis did not like me and did not want me there, so I couldn't be, But, I reached out to Catholic Human Services and trying to get back into counseling and going through the trials of those, EBT classes or whatever you call them, Catholic Human Services and stuff like that, so, I wasn't drinking, I was looking for work. I got a payment plan to pay on my fines once a month.
So you say you weren't drinking this and one day the world fell apart on you? I mean, do you expect me to believe that you haven't been drinking between?
No,
Okay.
I'm not saying that.
So
but I mean,
then why do you tell me that you weren't drinking?
But I drank like once before that, but I've been trying to do the right thing by looking for work, getting back and looking. And then I backslid that one time. And I don't know. And I just finally got back on my meds. I wasn't on my meds at that one time. And I finally got my doctor, and me and her even talked about rehab. And I have been working on a plan. That's why I'm working so hard, trying to get out and ask for help. Like I said, I'll do probation, I'll do the breathalyzers. I'm in counseling and anything and everything. I will come here straight after jail if I have to and sign up for probation, pay. I'm trying to do marriage counseling to save my marriage. I love my husband and I'm so scared of losing him due to my actions.
Great. Anything else?
Nobody promised me nothing. I'm doing this all on my own. I don't. I'm going back and I won't ever make it back out. And I don't want that if I'm looking so hard for help. And I'm asking you and the court to help me to get through. Because if I don't ask for help, there's no other way. Thank you, I'm sorry.
All right. When I go through Ms. Schwartz's history, I find in 04, there was a domestic, 04 a use, 07 an operating while intoxicated, 08 a domestic, 08 an operating while intoxicated, 09 a domestic second, in 10 a retail fraud third, 12 driving while license suspended, and 13 an attempt to resist and obstruct an officer, 15 a resist and obstruct, and 16 tamper with electronic monitoring device as an attempt, and 17 an assault and battery, 17 an attempt to resist and obstruct, 18 a resist and obstruct, 19 a domestic, 19 resist and obstruct, 24 domestic and disturbing the peace, and 25 a disorderly drunk. By my count, that's 5 prior resist and obstructs. Also 2 prior disorderlies. Mr. Carnes mentioned that some of those had also had the disorderlies dismissed as part of the plea agreement. I had staff pull the last 2 cases, and it looks like the 24 domestic and disturbing the peace, my predecessor had ordered 93 days jail suspended with 6 months of probation. And then when we were here for the last disorderly drunk, looks like I just did fines and costs and time served. Mr. Carnes also referenced different probation violations and terminations that the defendant has. Going through her history, one of the things that the court has to be convinced of is that probation is beneficial and will not the likelihood of reoffending is slim, and I just don't see that here. Ms. Schwartz has a history of assaultive behavior in her past. She has a history of resisting and obstructing in her past, and she has a history of disturbing and disorderly behavior. As such, I do not find her as a good candidate for probation. She currently has 12 days, I believe it was 12 days jail credit so far on this case. It's also alleged in this case, or she's pled to an attempt to resist and obstruct, in which she slipped her cuffs off. She was in the sally port threatening law enforcement to fight with them. This is not somebody who is just simply saying, no, I'm not going to do something. This is somebody who has a history of resisting and obstructing. She threatened law enforcement. She slipped her cuffs. She created a very dangerous situation for law enforcement and those in the sally port, and potentially those in the jail itself. So I do find that jail sentence is appropriate in this case. There will be a $75 Crime Victims' Rights Fund fee, two $50 state minimum fees, $150 fine, $150 court costs, $150 attorney fees. She's entitled to $60 credit back towards those fines. The sentence today will be 300 days jail with 12 days credit. Ms. Schwartz, because I have sentenced you to a period of incarceration, and you decide that you want to appeal that decision and could not afford an attorney to assist you, you have 14 days from today's date to request the appointment of an attorney. Also, any balance that remains unpaid for more than 56 days will have a 20% penalty added to that. I will waive that while you are incarcerated.
Will the court consider an early release to treatment?
I won't today, but you can certainly bring that up at a different time if you desire.
Thank you.
All right.